It's such a beautiful June evening. I thought I'd take you with me to see some of the wonderful colour that's coming out in this part of the garden, this particular rather shaded area of the garden. We have been cutting back some of the trees and bushes and things just to add more light, but it's still quite shaded, quite protected. These ones here are some wonderful ground cover that I love. They're known as strawberry raspberries because they're so short. They're in the raspberry family, but they are very short ones and they spread like raspberries. They're wonderful. I have some over here. They just do spread everywhere. But they produce really extra large berries, which look like really, really big raspberries. They're really cute. See, the flowers themselves are extra large too, so that is why the berries become so big. And then moving on here, we've got some Japanese anemones, which will be blooming soon. We've got a fig here. We've got some American pawpaws without any fruit this year. And then we have these wonderful hydrangeas, lace hydrangeas. They're so pretty. I grew some of them from little cuttings and they're just taking over this whole area. I just love them. And then there's lots of volunteer hollyhocks here too. Whenever I see a really lovely hollyhock, because they are everywhere, I always try to get seeds from them because they do grow true to seed. So I have lots of these sort of darker ones, and I also have some yellow ones further on. But yeah, they're such pretty things, honestly. I've still got my Saskatoon over there, my favorite one, which is shrouded to keep the birds away for now. There's another gorgeous hollyhock. And here is the persimmon. But I really wanted to show you this over here, which is my Szechuan pepper tree. I got it back in 2020 and I kept it in a pot in a different part of the garden, so it got more sunshine than it does here, but it's really happy in this more shaded position for sure. It is completely full of these wonderful spicy berries. All the branches are just completely full. I would say it started fruiting in the second year I had it, I believe. I think it's quite a eager fruiter. I do think that the one I have was grown from a cutting. My mother has one which was grown from seed and it has yet to fruit. So she's still eagerly awaiting that. But we're gonna have so many this year. I'll just step back so you can see just how large it is, because I didn't do that with another one of my trees. And it's really hard to gauge the size. And actually it's kind of hard to see it even with me stepping back because of all the trees around it. So it's really next to this really large apple tree. This apple tree here produces cooker apples. So the ones that you need to make something with. I tend to make lots of apple cider vinegar, and I also shred the apples and put them in my sourdough. But yes, this Szechuan pepper tree is just so amazing. You can use the berries while they're still green, or leave them to ripen and they turn a beautiful red. And then the bits that you actually use, which are actually spicy, are the pericarp, so the outside shell, not the seeds. The seeds are just tasteless. But you can just take the whole thing and put it in a pepper mill and grind it like regular pepper. But it doesn't taste like regular pepper. It just tastes very distinctive of Szechuan pepper. That wonderful spice, which has that sort of numbing effect on your tongue. I don't know if it's visible, just how many little just to remind us that we're in a town. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's visible just how many berries there are on this tree, but it is crazy. And the tree itself has really straightened up, because when I first planted it here last year after leaving it in a pot for years, it was really bent. But that's why I had to tie it to this apple tree to prevent it just from falling over pretty much. But I think its roots have sunk down into the ground, and it is really, really looking so good. It's got a nice thick stem there. And so, I mean, honestly, I need to show you this every time. Look at these thorns. They're like super vicious. I've had them gouge into me a few times. Not a pleasant experience. So they do say that you should really plant these in an out of the way place so you don't get attacked by the thorns. But it really is such a beautiful tree, I think. And once I have picked all the berries, so in a few months, I will come back and prune it. Because at the moment, it's just getting far too tall. And I kind of wanted to keep it down to sort of just, you know, reachable height. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just give it a good prune. And it seems to be completely fine with pruning. I'm wondering when I should prune it. I'll have to look that up. I mean, I was just planning on pruning it after fruiting, which I've done in the past, but I will check. I've done it successfully in the past, I should say, right after fruiting. So these wonderful berries should be ready to harvest by September for sure, at which time I'll be able to look at them and see if I can prune them and just make them a more reachable height. It's always so frustrating to have trees that are way too tall to pick the fruit from. We'll see how it goes, but thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.